Hello, and welcome to the conversation. You're with Authentic Conversations, talking about the messy intersection of faith, family, and business. We're in that New Year season again, and everywhere I look, I can hear people talking about and see people doing things that are those usual New Year kind of activities. And we're doing some of the same ourselves. We've been talking to you about our mini retreat that we went on, how we managed to come up with new plans. We're looking at our schedules, we're revamping all the things that we're doing. And I hear others talking about the same. I'm also hearing friends talk about the fast they're on and all the different churches that are doing the 7-day fast for this new year. And all that is amazing activity. It's all good things to prepare us for the new year that's ahead of us. But here's my concern. It's like we think that all these activities, all these things that we're doing are going to position ourselves to step into the things that God has for us. And the reality is that preparing is only part of the equation. Really positioning ourselves in front of the Lord is the other part. So I want to say I am preparing. I've looked at my schedule and I've realized that it really needs, really needs updating. And so what that looks like for me is that where before I just had a very loose schedule and I would fit the things that I needed to in that schedule, now I'm really making an effort to make sure that I have blocks of time where I'm committed to the things that I feel like the Lord is speaking to me about. That means some writing projects, that means some other projects that I feel like to invest into myself. They're making their way onto my schedule. It means that where we've got a little bit lax about our getting up time, it's back to being 6 o'clock and we've set an alarm to make sure that we're up and about. It means that certain things are happening at certain times. I'm also updating kind of what I'm letting myself invest into. So I'm re-looking at some of the things that I'm spending my time on and making them more efficient. It also means that actually right around the house, we are looking at how we are making things again more efficient, just so we can make the most of our time, so that we're ready should the Lord say, go here, or I have an opportunity for you. We're ready to go at a moment's notice and it will just flow a little more easily. So we're doing all the same things that you're probably doing. But I'm really aware in this season, as I look at all the opportunities that we have, and as I feel the Lord saying, come up higher, I'm also aware that it's not enough. And it's not enough because I'm not doing enough. In fact, probably the opposite is true, that I can get into the trap of feeling like it's all dependent on me. And the truth is, for me to step into the things that the Lord has for me, it's just not possible without Him. I can revamp my schedule. I can set aside time to pray. I can, invest in the fast that the church is doing and be at all the prayer meetings. I can do all the right things, but if I don't intentionally actually connect with Him and put myself in a place of total reliance on Him, I'll still find myself doing the same things next year. The breakthrough that you're longing for, the breakthrough that He is promising for us this year, is not going to come because I revamped my schedule. That's a part of it. The planning that we've done, the commitments that we've made, that's a part of what it's going to take for us to step into the new season. But it's only a part of it, and it won't actually on its own bring us into all that the Lord has for us. We really are disciplining ourselves. We really feel that stretch of the Lord talking to us about change, and it's requiring something of us that we haven't done in a while, and it's requiring new things to a level that we haven't sort of stepped into before. And that's fantastic to prepare ourselves for what the Lord has for us. But if we don't combine that with the positioning piece of it, the positioning ourselves for the Lord to move, then I don't think we're going to step into all that He has for us. So what does positioning look like? Positioning, I feel like, is coming to this new place of dependence. I was sitting there this morning and I was thinking about all the things that I want to do. I'm writing a book, And I want to invest in a new level of sort of looking and working with my prophetic words. I have the house that I want to tidy. I have all these other things that I want to invest in, and I feel an urgency around pretty much all of them, in all honesty. And as I was thinking about them, I started to feel a little anxious and overwhelmed, and I was like, oh, I don't know if I can do this. And the truth is, I kind of can't. I can't do all the things that are in my heart in the time that I want to get them done and still maintain peace. And so I paused and I prayed, and I simply asked the Lord, Lord, what are you saying that today should look like? What is the assignment? What are the pieces of what's on my plate that need to be on my schedule for today? And so then as I kind of felt like I'd heard from the Lord, I jotted those things down. And I realized that the urgency I've put on some of the projects that I'm working on isn't necessarily the same urgency that He has. And I want to get it all done yesterday. I want to move on to the next thing and start doing all these new things that He's given me to do. And yet the reality is that I just need to partner with Him. I need to do my piece. I needed to get busy and do some writing. But I also needed to be dependent on Him to tell me what to do today, and dependent on Him for the strength to do it, dependent on Him for the wisdom to know what to write and how to write. I need to be dependent on Him to stay in a place of peace and in a place of love. All those things we think we can sort of schedule into our lives, that we can discipline our way into, that we can read the Bible and we can make it happen, we can fast and make it happen. And all those things are great disciplines. They're the things that undergird our walk with the Lord, but they're only the undergirding. The real magic, to borrow a word from the world, the real magic happens when I am in a place of dependence, when I'm in a place of humility. 2 Chronicles 7 talks about, if you'll humble yourselves and pray, I will come and I will heal their land. And you and I, we're in the business of partnering with the kingdom to heal the land around us. But we first have to humble ourselves and recognize there's not a thing I can do to make that happen. I do the things that I know are in my hand, but ultimately it's the Lord. It's the Lord that's moving on my life to bring fresh hunger. It's the Lord that's moving on my life to bring me into a place of being able to partner with Him more effectively. So I want to encourage you. It's the new year. There's all the planning that does go on. There's all the things that are great to do to prepare yourself for this new year. But there's also, this is a season of positioning yourself in humility, positioning yourself in dependence on Him, positioning yourself to hear from Him and to receive from Him. I encourage you in this season to make yourself dependent on Him afresh, that you will be able to step into all that He has for you this year. So what are the next steps for you? I really encourage you to take just a few minutes and go back over all the planning, all the new things that you've got set up for this new year. And just take a moment to ask the Lord, is there anywhere that you've taken on the burden of it? Where you've said, I can do this. It's all about me doing these new things, putting the new things in my schedule. Take a moment and ask Him, Lord, is there anything that I'm taking on too much on myself? And where do you want to move on my behalf? As you hear from Him, take note of that and give it back to Him. Take time to ask Him, actually, God, how do I position myself for you to move? Lord, where do I need to make myself intentionally more dependent on you? There's events that we run and things that we do here at Heaven in Business where we are saying, wow, we need God to come through, or we're in deep trouble. And we intentionally set it up that way because we don't want it to ever become something about the best thing that we can do. We want to actually make ourselves humble and in this place of dependence on the Lord coming through. I encourage you to do the same with your business, the same with your family life, the same in every area of your life. Lord, where am I trying to do all the things to make it work? What's my part and what's yours, Lord? I bless you as you go through this process to hear from the Lord really clearly, to know what it is that's in His court and what's on yours. I bless you to have a great week.